everyone, how y'all doing today? So Apple has released some new toys and I want 2 of them. Yes, so Apple has updated 3 of its products: the Mac Mini, the MacBook Air, and the iPad Pro. Now out of those 3 products, the 2 that really interest me is the Mac Mini and the iPad Pro. So in the past, my iMac 5K got zapped by lightning and I was in limbo, undecided what I wanted to do. Did I want to get a new iMac or do I want to go with the Mac Pro? Now at the current time, I'm still in limbo. Right now I'm running a Hackintosh. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, that's a desktop PC that runs Windows converted into running a Macintosh by doing some modification to make it happen. So that's my workstation at the current time. But I always want to go back to that machine that actually built by Apple. Now, one of the reasons why I haven't went with the Mac Pro is because it hasn't been updated in years. And Apple finally announced this year that they're going to do an update to it, but that machine won't be available till 2019. So what they did for the people who don't want to get an iMac but still would like to have an Apple machine, they finally updated the Mac Mini, which is a machine that hasn't been updated in years either. So looking at the specs of this new Mac Mini, I'm more intrigued to get one of these. The lowest one starts off with a 4-core processor, but the highest goes up to a 6-core. Now my current Hackintosh is running an Intel 6th generation 4-core processor, and it's maxed out at 32 gigabytes DDR3 memory. On the other hand, that Mac Mini is running an 8th generation processor and it goes up to 64 gigabytes of RAM DDR4. So based on those specs, I can tell it already outperforms my current machine. So I've been looking for ways to update my current Hackintosh. So I've been doing some research trying to see what kind of parts do I need to build a brand new Hackintosh to bring it up to the current operating system that's available by Apple. Because who knows when Apple's going to come out with that new Mac Pro in 2019. So I already see the configuration I wanted, and I think I'm going to get that for now until I see what the Mac Pro is going to do next year. So I've been using the iPad Air ever since it first came out, and I never did an update. And surprisingly, it's still working perfectly. No issue with it. It's not as preppy as when I first bought it, but you know, the operating system is updating and it really can't keep up like it did in the beginning, but it's still working perfectly. So I really can't complain. I got my money's worth out of it, but it's time for me to do an update. The interesting thing about this iPad Pro, it looks like Apple is trying to replace the laptops. So according to Apple, this iPad Pro will replace 92% of the laptops out there on the market right now. So the question is, are they trying to also replace their own laptops too? Or is it the 8% include their laptops along with some other ones that has high performance built in? My guess is they're trying to replace laptops, period, especially in their line, if nothing else. Because now Adobe has a full version of Photoshop, not a mobile version, not a baby down version, running on this new iPad Pro, which is supposed to be released next year in 2019. So if Adobe can have their full version of Photoshop running on an iPad, well, how long it's going to take before everybody else have their full version running on the iPad too? Even some Apple product. I mean, how long it's going to take before we have Final Cut running on an iPad? Now, of course, the screen real estate is too small for Final Cut to get that good editing going on, but it now has that capability where it can connect to an external monitor. So with that capability, now you can have 2 monitors going on. So you can use the iPad screen as a smaller screen for smaller things and use the bigger screen to do all your editing. So I can see this coming where Apple is eventually going to eliminate the laptop, especially in their product line. Because if you look at the iPad Pro, at least this new version, they changed out the port to USB-C, which makes it more universal to connect to different things. They have a keyboard that you can attach to it. It comes with a pencil. Well, that's something you have to buy separate, but with all those accessories that you add to it, right there, it's a full-blown laptop by itself. I mean, you can do word process on it, spreadsheet, play games, edit movies, create music. There's so much thing you can do on this iPad Pro now that is growing to be a laptop. It's in its infant stage now, but looking at it, I can tell that Apple is grooming it to be a laptop replacement. So they took away the Touch ID, which was also the home button, replace it with the Face ID, which is all good, and they reduced the bezel to give you more screen real estate. I've been thinking about getting a new Apple laptop, but I think this iPad Pro will suit my needs, and with the fact that it's starting to run desktop class apps. So it comes in 2 sizes. You got 11 inch and then you got a 12.9 inches. Now the new MacBook Air is coming in at 13 inches. So those are the two products I'm thinking about putting on my shopping list. That new Mac Mini and that iPad Pro 12.9 inches. Okay, so that's gonna be it for this video. I want to thank you for taking the time for watching it. I look forward for you to see me in the next video. Have a good one.